So setting this whole thing up and, being a nutritionist and being into personal health and a personal trainer,
Yeah.
where does it come from in your own life? How much of your early drive in your own life fueled this?
A very good question. So it's something that you might have heard the term before, your voids fill your values. So for me, it was something that I'd always struggled with body image, body dysmorphia, eating disorders. I'd struggled with my own health and fitness, poor mental health, insomnia, depression, anxiety, all the way through my childhood and teenage years. And it was something that then I felt in love and found a passion for understanding myself, understanding how the body works, understanding how to feel your best, how to have more energy, to have more capacity to push yourself out of your comfort zones. So, my training and background as a nutritionist, combined with my training and background as a personal trainer, and then I added an extra branch to that and went away to retrain as a cinematic trauma informed practitioner and coach as well, because I wanted to be able to bring all three areas together: how you eat, how you think, what you feel like, how you move. Because for me, it's not just one area, it's all of them
No,
inform
it's
each other.
not at all. Not at all. And as you know, my framework indeed is built entirely on addressing all core health pillars, all of them. But could you
Yeah.
please explain to me a little bit about the somatic, say the
Yeah.
phrase again, please? Well, what
Somatic
is
trauma.
somatic
Somatic.
trauma informed coaching? What does it
So
actually mean?
the word somatic means body, so body
Right?
based practice. Trauma informed means understanding how your nervous system responds to threat and stress, or the perceived threat and stress. So really simply, it's doing work with yourself where you understand what your body is saying, not just listening to your head. Lots of traditional therapies, and I love them, and I am trained in a plethora of them, are what we call talking therapy. So think NLP, neuro linguistic programming, changing the way you think,
Right.
CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Somatic therapy works the other way. It's being able to go, how do I feel in my body? Am I feeling shaky? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling hot, fizzy, angry? And understanding and interpreting what that means. So then you can take action to feel what's going on in your body and how to regulate that emotion. So if we link that to how that turns up for the high performing people I work with, if they're numbing out in an evening, drinking alcohol because they're stressed from the day, if we can catch that upstream and recognize that when that person is feeling like they've got a fluttery chest and tingly fingers, they know that they are overstretched. We can then find a coping mechanism to help support their health instead of something to numb them. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And it feels like kind of the right way of doing it. It's very holistic, this
Yeah,
approach.
yeah,
So, Nikki, you obviously then speak about like disorderly being, disorderly living, which could be coming from trauma or eating, disorderly eating, and different patterns. And people pick up some survival modes, really, as you say, you know, run to alcohol at the end of the day because they feel that that would be numbing them in a way. So, what kind of dysregulated nervous systems are masquerading as ambition in people?
Oh, what a question. I see it a lot. I see a lot of this in myself. So, bearing in mind, I'm 39. So, I wouldn't say that I'm later entrepreneur life, but definitely midlife. And for somebody who's 39, I think I've been through a lot of them myself personally. So, I see a lot of overworking and creating no space to rest, or feeling very uncomfortable to rest or not be attached to productivity is one of the number one things I see. So it can masquerade itself as high achieving, high performing. But actually, if you can't sit with yourself and have nothing to distract yourself or stimulate, and it feels really uncomfortable, that's usually a dysregulated nervous system running the show. That's usually you craving or striving for something like productivity feels like you're worthy, or getting validation makes you feel like you're good enough. And you see it show up so often in entrepreneurs,
But
people running their
sometimes it's so hard to draw that line because, like, for me, looking after my health is my absolute number one priority. At the same time, building a business, and especially at the beginning when it's just you, it is so hard that you've got to do a zillion things. And where do you draw the line? What is it that doesn't get done that you
yeah,
can't quite outsource yet, or
yeah,
or can't let go of it yet because even you don't necessarily know how to do it yet? Or like probably it's similar to people who are scaling up. because
Yeah.
they've been running their
Clear
business, and then
time.
there comes that transition period when you're going through so much change, and you say that maybe this overproductivity is sort of indeed masquerading as something that we're hiding behind, but at the same time, some of it is necessity. But
Yeah.
you are
But
absolutely
I think that's the thing though. When you're performing from necessity or survival, it is a nervous system state. It's how long do you stay in that? How long do you accept dipping into and out of that? Because there are points you've got to roll your sleeves up and get the work done. But to stay in that disproportionately becomes dysregulated.
right, right, right. And yeah, I mean, I noticed myself, obviously, life is super busy at the minute. I'm doing the podcast, I'm building a business. And
Yeah.
I got kind of into that dip myself where it was just like 16-hour days. And it's like, hang on a minute, I cannot continue like that. So I now force myself to remove myself from the office, go and sit somewhere else for lunch, take that
Yes.
breakfast break, because I do have
Yeah.
a focus session early in the morning. Actually, I had to admit to myself, I mean, this is exactly what I encourage people to do. And having gone through it myself, it's like, yes, it works. It works
But that's
because then
why,
when
isn't
I
it? You
have that
know, you
break, I can
live
concentrate.
it. Yeah, you live it, you teach it, that you know this stuff works, but you also end up knowing that it's always a practice. And there's points when life is busier that those windows are smaller, but they're just as non-negotiable. Whether it's 2 minutes standing outside going, right, I'm just going to stop for 2 minutes and create little micro regulations, they're just as important as having 40 minutes to meditate or whatever it might be.